Welcome to the Barrel Roll Newscast for November 17th, 2018.
Today we're talking Stanley.
Sony's press conferences.
Some trailer news.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back. We'll let you know for how many times.
Stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome
to the Barrel Roll
Newscast
for November 17th, 2018.
We're here to talk about movie and game news and nerd news.
Things that's happened in the week.
Yes. All the nerd news you need to know.
This is the world's best podcast. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah.
The universe
Prove us wrong.
Prove us wrong. Just saying.
Prove us wrong.
Welcome. I'm Tony.
I'm Nick.
Welcome. Let's just jump into this.
Yes, so
Let's just start with the elephant in the room.
The big one that everybody's been talking about, obviously.
Yes,
Stanley passed away, 95 years old.
Good score.
Good, yeah.
Good high score.
Good high score.
And a good legacy on top of that. So, honestly, he will never be forgotten.
No, and that's my biggest, the internet kind of got quite sad about it.
Of course it would.
And I'm sitting there going, yeah, but we got him for 95 years.
Kevin Feige had a really good quote. I don't know if you read what he said.
Yeah.
He had he had mentioned something to the effect of Stanley had passed away. It's sad, but his legacy will outlive us all.
Correct.
Like everything that he's done for the community, not just in comics, but as a person, it will outlive everyone.
Yeah. Dude was just like a stand-up guy.
So it's no one's gonna forget Spider-Man. No one's gonna forget all the things that he's done for charities and things around the world. And just fans in general, because he's a pretty cool cat, from my understanding.
Because of course all these people are now sharing their stories.
Mm-hmm.
You watch Kevin Smith, who has he legitimately just wrote a list of all the times I hung out with Stanley, and was talking about them, and he's like, guy was just, cool.
He's the grandpa.
Whole way through.
He's the great grandpa that everyone wanted.
He was a stand-up guy the whole way through. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that, which is nice to hear too.
Mm-hmm. Married for 70+ years.
Well, and so that was I thought that was the
crazy.
cutest Kevin Smith story out of all of them. Is Stanley, for those of you that don't know, was in Mallrats, and if you don't know what Mallrats is, shame on you. But there's a scene where Stanley gives advice to one of the characters, and it's don't let the one girl get away because I let that happen. Da 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 da. And Stanley had contacted Kevin Smith. This is the first time they had ever met. And the producer of the movie was like, oh, you want Stan Lee? I know Stan Lee. I can probably get you, actually Stan Lee. Rewrite the script. I'll send it to him. We'll see what happens. Mm-hmm. Stan likes the script, but he needs one thing changed. He's going to call you. So Stan calls Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith is, on his second or third movie at this point? Mm-hmm. He's not like Kevin Smith we know Kevin Smith. He's like, oh my God, you're Stan Lee. This is so cool. And he goes, the one line, I never let the one get away. I married the one. I got the one. He's like, I can't go into a movie saying I didn't get the one. I'm playing me. My wife will kill me. I need to be able to go home.
Yes.
And it's just oh, that's so cute. But yeah, he was married forever. And his wife passed away last year,
yes,
so that's kind of the
piece of it.
Yeah. So, yes, he's left a good legacy. The funniest part online is people doing all the tribute pictures and not necessarily putting characters that were Stan Lee characters with these characters.
Yes, he is associated with a lot of comic book characters, but not all of them. Primarily, X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four.
Some X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, but everybody keeps drawing him with Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, he didn't Wolverine. Captain America's kind of a 50-50 because he brought Captain America back.
Yes. Okay.
So it was kind of you didn't invent him, but you put it, he was the one who got him into the Avengers and da-da-da-da-da,
The Hulk is one of his as well.
Hulk is one of his, yeah. Spider-Man, obviously, Iron Man. Fantastic Four. Most
Did he
of the
do
X-Men.
the Punisher?
I don't know.
Or Daredevil?
I don't know. Daredevil, I think, yes.
Yeah.
I think Daredevil was his. But yeah, it's just like, yes.
He's left a huge mark in history. So.
And so, yeah, there's those of us who know him from his writing in the comics. There's those of us that know him from, his cameos in the movies. Yeah, I was going to say, a
lot of people never realize him until the first Spider-Man.
Right. But, like, we have a good legacy of Stan Lee. And I think the worst headline I saw was, like, we're at least getting one more cameo, and it was IGN posted it. And they're like, we're at least getting one more cameo. And I'm like, we're getting more than one. He filmed, like, 12. Whether they use them now or not. But the whole point was they were using them because Stan's 90-something.
Right. Back then, I think they filmed a bunch.
They still, James Gunn filmed a bunch of, like, cameos that could almost fit in any film. Mm-hmm. It's just like, if we film Stan against, like, a green screen, we got this. He needs to be on a bus. He's on a bus. I'm
glad they put him into spoiler alert for Marvel's The Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm really glad he ended up being in that game.
That was such a perfect
and it was the right time.
Yeah.
And he looked good. He looked like Stan.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and it was the perfect line. Like I always,
it was so good. And I'm so glad he got that in there.
Yeah. And then of course people with the game, they're like, well, in Amazing Spider-Man 2, the game, like you could swing around to Stan Lee. They should put that in the new one.
No.
And it's like, whoa.
There's a reason why that was funny.
Whoa. Like, whoa.
No.
Like, and then they're like, well, that's just a cash in. If anything, they should put a grave somewhere near Uncle Ben's in the game. Somewhere, like, close by.
Yeah, in the follow-up DLC or
something, just as a tribute. Mm-hmm. That's your tribute. You don't have to swing around as Stan Lee. Like, just a nice grave that you can visit. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. That's all I need. Obviously, the comic book runs in the next couple months are going to do a big...
Oh, I would imagine if they're probably hard at work already.
Yeah. But they're going to finish off whatever arcs are kind of going, and then or there's going to be some special editions that come out,
Who knows? The Beyonder ended up doing something dumb.
Yeah. And then, and the other piece is, like, he worked for DC, he worked for Marvel. Like, the guy's been all over the comic book industry.
He made his own comic book line.
Yep. The trouble is now, like, with Disney owning Marvel, they're not so buddy-buddy with DC anymore. Because I can see a lot of guys at DC being like, can we do something?
He apparently had a pretty huge cameo in the DC the Titans movie.
Oh, really? In the movie?
And the Teen Titans Go
Good
to
for
the movie.
him.
He was apparently in that movie.
Good for him.
As Stan Lee. Apparently that movie's good, so I'll watch it eventually.
But like Stan Lee could cross those borders. I feel like the comic book industry right now can't. Like I feel like DC could probably do like a in memory of of Stan Lee at the end of it, but I can't see them.
It would have to be something really dramatically. Like this was Stan's imprint.
Yeah.
For them to do something like that.
Well, because back in the day they did crossovers. Like Stan Lee went to write for DC and do like their heroes, and they sent DC guys to Marvel, and they like weird crossovers back in the day. And it's like now that DC
they used to work across the street.
They were right across the street. Now DC's in California because Warner Bros moved them out to California. Disney's still got Marvel, in New York, but it's like now that Warner Brothers and Disney are in charge, there's less of that fun,
It's gonna be a weird landscape in the next couple.
But I can see McFarlane doing something, and like,
I could see Hot Toys, the guys that make those massive like figurines. I could see them doing a Stan Lee one, and that would be beautiful.
That'd be perfect. Yeah,
I could see that happening.
But yeah, there's some cool stuff online. Go around, check it out. Kevin Smith's is a 2-hour podcast of him telling stories.
I can believe that.
Yeah. So that was a good one. But yeah, the original 6 put a tribute in a magazine or
saw that as well.
A full pager, which I thought was kind of a nice way of going about it. And the weirdest story to come out of all of this is Armie Hammer, the Lone Ranger, tweeted out that people are just self-aggrandizing themselves by posting pictures of them with Stan Lee as their memoriam type things. And I'm like, that's the greatest memorial for Stan Lee. That was his shtick, man.
Think of how many people he was with. Like that in and of itself is huge.
But that was he was like, stop posting pictures of yourself with the guy. Like he got angry at people for that, and I'm like, but that was Stan.
That was him, and he was making people's lives. Like he put smiles on so many kids' faces.
People's faces, like
in general.
I saw him in Calgary?
Sure.
Yes. And he'd ignore everybody's questions, which was one great thing. Like, people would ask him about one thing, and he'd answer a completely different question. But his stories were amazing. Like, the dude was a storyteller, and yeah, that's the thing. He brought that
he was a storyteller, but he was still grounded.
Yep.
He was still very like in touch with everyone around him.
Oh yeah, he knew
that. So like he balanced that line very, very well.
Mm-hmm. Once there was a quote by someone that the greatest character Stan Lee ever created was the character of Stan Lee.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Apparently, he had pitched a Doctor Strange movie back in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And someone found a page of that script. I kind of want Benedict to just do it.
For funsies.
Just to see what that... And it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, I want him to... I want, like...
Stan Lee's writing. Like, I've read...
Some weird...
I
go to a different dimension and this other Doctor Strange, and it's just that one script.
I've read, you know, what is it? Amazing Fantasy number 15.
Yes, the original.
The original Spider-Man, and it's just like...
It's not
woof,
great.
Woof.
Yeah.
Like, Stan Lee was honestly a better storyteller in person than he was with writing. Like, he brought some good morals to comics, and he brought a lot of that stuff to comics.
A lot of the things that he brought to comics, even more so, was that soapbox piece. That he was one of the first ones to
and making sure that if you picked up a comic book, you could read it without really having to know the 300 issues before that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knew in his mind that, you know, there's one person out there who hasn't read a comic at least. Mm-hmm. This is going to be their first one.
Right. But yeah, that soapbox thing was huge for him.
For sure.
Like, because back then, a lot of the writers never really had that connection or communication to the readers.
And you wouldn't think of it.
No.
A lot of people don't think of it. A lot of companies still don't think of, hey, maybe we should communicate with the people that buy our product.
Nope.
Crazy thought process.
I know, right?
Either way, Excelsior, Stan
Good.
Lee.
Take care.
Yes. Cool. This one was a...
Okay, I have my I have my thoughts on this, and
yes.
So Sony.
Yes. Chris posted this in our Discord?
Ding. Yes.
Yes. Chris.
Mr. Chris.
Mr. Chris posted this going, is this newsworthy?
Oh yeah, it's totally newsworthy.
And I'm like,
how is it not? Okay, so Sony.
So yes, Chris, it is.
Sony is backing out of E3 2019.
Completely.
Yes. Which doesn't... okay, so a lot of people are like, wait, so there's no PlayStation stuff? So if there's going to be like cross-platform games there from Capcom... I
was going to say Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, Capcom, Konami, I guess, whatever. Like any of those publishers, if their games are cross-platform, yes, PlayStation stuff is going to be there.
Yes.
So. But there's going to be no Sony press conference.
No.
No Sony floor presence.
Nope. But in all honesty,
so here's my thought.
Go for it.
What is E3 nowadays?
Correct.
Like, you've got things like PAX. You've got things like the PlayStation Experience, which
I was just going to say, PlayStation's own thing.
Yes, they didn't do their own thing this year, but what's to say they won't do anything next year?
Yeah.
Like, you can do your own thing. Microsoft had their XO18 event, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
And which dropped arguably nothing, really.
Yeah, correct.
They had just a bunch of trailers, which is cool. I mean, more Kingdom Hearts trailers, I'll take it. But, yes... You don't need to have a giant press conference anymore. Like, obviously Nintendo got that.
And they were the first ones to sit there going, why are we spending $8 billion putting on this giant stage show when we can release a video?
And then just have people play our games at the show. Sony's taking it even further.
They're like, we don't even need to show up. We'll do our own thing. Because in all honesty, and this is my piece, if you're going to spend that much money, spend it on your own thing.
Right. You can book your own venue. You can invite... specifically you want, because E3, I don't know if you know this, used to be a very private show.
Very private.
Where you can only get in if you're in the games industry or
press, game industry, that kind of stuff.
And then as years have gone by, it's like, did you get to go to E3? I know
on, but there it is.
So yeah, Sony's not going to be at E3.
Yes, I don't know how much we missed on that one, but
Either way, that's probably for the better.
it's a good move.
I really do I respect that.
You're saving money in the long run.
You're saving money. You're showing your customers that's like, yes, we don't need to be part of this press conference. We can announce our PlayStation anytime, and you guys are still going to be excited. You don't need to wait for this exact moment to watch our thing.
And and I think the biggest thing is E3, especially with Ubisoft and EA and
doing their own press conferences.
Those guys doing their press conferences. Why bother spending the money?
I would rather, maybe not popular opinion, but I would rather see Ubisoft do their own press conference, because watching Sony talk about their own games is kind of boring. Watching what Ubisoft is saying, like, oh, you can play Starlink now, but it's also on all the other consoles. Like, you don't need to have Sony to say, you can only play Starlink on our consoles for the first month or something like that.
Asterisks.
We get to Call of Duty maps first for the first month.
Leave it to Ubisoft to sit there going,
leave it to Activision, leave it to Ubisoft.
Yeah, like Ubisoft comes up and goes like, hey guys, did you know there's another Assassin's Creed game coming out? And everybody goes, yes, we know. And they're like, you can play it exclusively first for like 1 week on the Xbox, but after that, it's available on everything except the Nintendo Switch. Like,
yes. That's exactly the...
But for the Nintendo Switch, we have this other game coming out that you're all going to love, because Ubisoft and Nintendo are like,
that's one
so deep in bed together, it's funny.
That is one franchise that's missing on the Switch right now, isn't it? Assassin's Creed. I'll think about it. I mean, I don't want to count that streaming cloud Assassin's Creed thing. We don't. That's. I mean, it's cool. It's cool tech, but I'm not interested.
Cool tech, but no.
So it's huge.
Big news, and it's a good move for the company. And honestly,
super smart, especially with the oncoming generation of hardware. You know that they're planning on something.
Yeah, and Nintendo at this point is
Nintendo's
half skipping it already.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, I guess we'll release a Direct that day. Like, that's the one day we can guarantee a Direct.
Yes, and rather than like next week is a Direct. Okay. It's Smash.
Because I like those out of Nintendo already. As soon as that's what the company started doing, they're like, oh, we got news to share. We have a YouTube channel with millions of subscribers.
We have a Twitch channel. We have YouTube. You have everything.
Yeah. Let's just show it to people online instead of waiting for the show.
And now they can say there's a YouTube app on Switch.
You can watch it. You can finally watch it direct on your Switch. Yeah. I swear Hulu had a 1-year exclusivity something on the Switch. Because it was almost, someone calculated it was almost like to the date when Hulu got announced, we got YouTube.
As a streaming service? And you know what? We'll never know.
No.
Those conversations are so behind back doors. Netflix is probably like that too. Everyone keeps asking for Netflix on YouTube or on the Switch. And of course Nintendo will be, or Netflix will be like, no, we're not developing that.
Yeah. We can't say anything.
Yeah. Like legally they cannot say stuff like that.
But yeah, so it's good on Sony.
Yeah, no, I'm super.
I prefer this.
Yeah, so the only thing they need to do is follow up and say we have a PlayStation experience coming up in the next 6 months.
And that's the biggest piece. I think they have to,
Yeah, that's
like, we have our own conference coming up that's in between all the other ones.
Because, the PlayStation experience, if I remember correctly, that was a really well-received event. That's where a lot of new things got announced last year around. I mean, we talk about how we rant on how bad Marvel Infinite is, but that was announced at PSX.
Yep.
So, like, no, what's to stop them from doing a hardware one?
Well, and
it is a hardware year for them.
The funniest part that I think of all of this is Sony's ditched them. Nintendo's got like a half presence.
Yes.
Microsoft. It's now Microsoft's.
It's Microsoft's show.
Well, except now they're sitting there. They've pretty much left Microsoft with Ubisoft and like the developer people, as opposed to the, hardware guys. It's like Nintendo's like, we're doing our own thing, bye, and Sony's like, we've got our own thing, bye. Microsoft's like, uh-oh.
I like the fact that the day after this announcement dropped, Microsoft's account's like, we'll see you guys at E3 in 2019.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
so?
Okay.
Yeah, who cares?
Cool. And it leads all back to what is E3 nowadays anyways.
Right. Like, in my opinion, you leave it to the developers and the hardware guys go do their own shtick.
Yeah, because
Xbox and Microsoft could pull off their own expo easy peasy.
They've tried. Remember XO18 happened a couple weeks ago, but then I think they
used to announce things.
They used to have Xbox. Was it Xbox World? I can't remember what it was.
I forgot.
They had something.
But again, as a Microsoft Expo, everything. Treat it as like a Windows store, but crazier.
Right. Have all the games that, you don't have any games.
And that's their problem.
Oh, right. You don't have any games. You have Crackdown 3. You have Halo Infinite. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Apparently, the XO18 event.
Yep.
That would have been the event to really give any information about Crackdown 3. Apparently, they just dropped it as like a 2-minute trailer and said, "Cool.
You know what's coming, guys. Yay." What about that pirate game they released that none of us played?
Apparently, it's better.
Yeah, they've been slow, but that's what I mean. Like, tell us that you're slowly improving. Make me want to buy your games, Xbox.
Make me drop money on a Game Pass or something. I don't know.
But even looking at like Google right now, like the Slate, I got the email like, oh, you can pre-order the Slate now, and and I'm like, all right, so I'm looking at that as opposed to a Surface. You know, I'm sitting there going like, Google's even doing a better job than you guys right now hawking a tablet.
You know what? In all honesty, I have been looking at a new one, and the only thing, again, I've mentioned to you already, the only thing that's preventing me from getting a Slate is literally that one software that I need to run for my tournaments. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't want. If it wasn't for that, I would get a Slate.
Hey Jeff, yes, we are also ready for whatever that was SquareSoft's.
Yes, Square Enix's thing.
Square Enix. And,
was IDOS doing that?
No,
Crystal Dynamics.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah, I'm ready for a full-on Marvel game.
Sidebar: I don't know what Square Enix is doing right now. Like, they have some weird friggin' marketing stuff happening.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
my newsfeed's something like Final Fantasy something or other.
They're not impressed with the sales of Tomb Raider, like the last 3 of them. They're not impressed with Hitman, so they dropped them.
Yeah.
The IO Interactive guys, they're not impressed with them, dropped them. They fired not fired, but the director for Final Fantasy 15 left.
Yes.
Which means all the future DLC plans are canceled. And then they put out The Quiet Man?
Yes.
Like,
I hope they're impressed by those sales.
Game's got no audio.
Life is Strange is them, isn't it?
That's their only claim to fame right now, in my mind.
But I like the Tomb Raider games.
But they're not impressed with the sales. Did you buy any of them lately?
I have the first 2.
Yeah, they weren't impressed with Rise or Shadow or whatever it is.
It came out at a rough time, though. That was their fault.
It did? Well...
They're coming out almost against Red Dead. They're coming out against Pokemon, essentially. Like, that's my thing. I look forward.
Shadow came out a couple months ago, though, didn't it?
I looked for, but that's the thing. If you're,
I think they came out with God of War and Spider-Man.
I think so. But that's what I mean. Like, if you're looking forward, I got Spider-Man, and I knew in the coming months, like looking at games now, I'm going, I have Smash Bros, I have Pokemon, like, and I know not everybody looks at games that way, but I'm sitting there going, I don't have time to play Red Dead Redemption, which is why I haven't bought it. I don't have time to play Tomb Raider, so I might as well wait because the game's going to go on sale. And both of them, by the way, are on sale right now on the PlayStation sale.
Red Dead?
I think the, like, super spectacular edition you can get for, like, $10 off.
Check.
But
yeah, Square Enix...
Yeah.
Not impressed with anything.
Weird, though.
And then they put out the dumbest game that they could publish. Yeah. They put it out, and I'm like, you guys have access to some of the best games libraries, and you put out The Quiet Man.
Well, but even their re-releases of stuff, like we have, Secret of Mana that's coming out for stuff? Just beat the Red Dead 2 story. So you haven't done anything else, huh, Jeff? Just been playing Red Dead for...
Wow, that's exactly what happens with that game.
Well,
I need to play it so bad. Oh.
See, and I don't have that feeling because I've got Pokemon, and I know I have Smash Bros coming out in
but the nice thing about Smash.
Good job, Jeff.
Nice.
Like, kudos.
Congrats. I haven't heard it as crazy of an ending as the first one. I heard apparently the first game's ending is like mind-boggling.
I never finished Red Dead 1.
I need to finish Red Dead 1.
But yeah, so like PlayStation, even PlayStation, the sale they have on right now. Brian and I have been looking at even football, just as sports games, and Madden NFL 19 is on sale for $40.
Black Friday sale. Destiny 2.
Yay.
Grand Theft Auto's on sale.
Yeah, it is. So many sales.
Call
of the Duties.
Most of this is Call of Duty.
Dragon Ball Fighters.
That's pretty.
The Division, Rocket League, Madden. Far Cry.
The Batman. Horizon.
One of the Batmans. Horizon.
That's not as cheap as it could have been.
No. WWE. There's Red Dead Redemption 2. $107 in Canadian.
Hold on. Man.
Either way, it's good move on Sony's part for leaving E3. I think they should have done that before.
Yes.
What are your favorite Marvel films, Tony? Jeff is asking. He wishes to know.
There's a lot of them out there.
I think the first Avengers, because we never saw that coming ever in our lives. Like, not that it's the best movie, but the fact, like, that feeling when you first saw them all getting together and it's like, oh, snap.
See, I don't know which one's my favorite. I like Avengers movie. I don't have.
He says favorite Marvel films. You can pick between more than one. That's why I'm saying, like, Captain America. Honestly, Captain America: Winter Soldier is up there for me.
I think that one's my first. I think that's my favorite because it has so much of a Marvel film in it, but it's also an espionage thriller that changes things for the rest of the movies. Yep. Arguably. Infinity War is pretty good.
Infinity War is good.
Infinity War.
Again, because that was just you have how many characters and you handled them.
You balance them
perfectly.
Yeah, like it's a good juggling act.
It's a well balanced
movie.
Honestly, the Russo brothers, anything they've done within the MCU has been
not even just them though. I want to say the writers. I need to keep giving those guys as more credit than I.
Because in all honesty, and again, they wrote the first Captain America movie.
Still good.
I like that one too.
I
like the Cap movies.
Yeah.
If Cap's in it, I'm in.
Yeah.
How's that for Ragnarok? I enjoyed.
I'm slowly coming to on Ragnarok. I'm still...
After watching Thor 1 and Thor 2 and then you watch Ragnarok, you're like, this is infinite.
Yes, yes.
And my God.
Yes, but that was a pretty low bar, though.
But still, it's like, thank you, Taika, for saving, this franchise, because
I kept watching... I tried to watch more of his, the vampire one again. Oh, yeah. It's so funny.
I know.
So dumb.
I know.
I'm like, oh...
What? Put newspapers down.
I can't eat chips anymore. Was there garlic in those? Is that why he was like exploding?
I don't
remember.
Black Panther.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good film.
The CGI at the end for that last fight scene was a little off for me.
The train sequence?
Yeah. But the rest of the movie, like, solid
The acting is what really makes that movie.
Solid film. And my only thing when I complain about CG, it's because you see what they can do for all the other films. And it's like... And yes, like Ant-Man, when he shrinks, it looks kind of fake.
Yeah, but that's gonna have to be.
But you sit there going, all right, I can accept that. But when it's two guys fighting, and you can tell that it's like not
green
actually,
screen.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you can do better. You can make a 8-foot tall purple man, and make me go, wow, that 8-foot tall purple man is there. You should be able to do that in.
It's not a cardboard cutout with actors.
Or you can make Robert Downey Jr. look like he's 20 again, or Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer look,
like they're 30.
Yeah. Like, in all honesty, we can have a Tim Burton Batman again, and...
Yeah, but...
Not that company will ever work for DC, but,
I was going to say, Michael Keaton's a little busy right now. He's got a lot of stuff happening.
That's okay.
He's actually more working with Disney now than he is with...
You worked on Black Panther. I hope it wasn't on the CG. After I just complained about it.
The CG was fine, I think.
It was only that one scene. The rest of it was fine. Shuri shooting stuff and all that jazz. Cool stuff.
The Iron Man armor. Before Iron Man armor.
Yeah, the nanobots. But yeah, character-wise, like, that movie was, solid film.
Okay.
Yes. Moving on to trailer talk.
We got some new trailers. Let's start the easier one. Toy Story 4. We saw this movie coming a long time ago.
I was a stand-in. Oh, cool.
Neat.
That would be neat.
Neat.
See, if we lived in Atlanta, boy, howdy.
Oh man, I'd try to get through all of them.
Oh, we'd be podcasting from outside wherever the set was.
Just to get in.
Yeah. We're here today to talk about,
Oh, we're busy. Hold on. Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4 trailer.
More of a teaser than anything.
Well, we got 2 teasers.
Yeah.
We got a really bland one.
Yes.
Where they're spinning in a circle.
And then Forky.
I'm not a toy! And then everybody online starts having this existential crisis of what qualifies as a toy.
If you ever watch the Sausage Party movie, it's very much that extent of like, what is a talking food?
Well, but this one is very much a like. So as soon as is it when I glue the googly eyes on the fork? Is that when it becomes the toy?
So when I put googly eyes on my Pokemon cards,
they have now a toy that are living, and they can feel pain, and have thoughts.
Shouldn't trade them.
Why are you abandoning me?
So yes, there's that.
Yes.
And then Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele had another trailer.
And essentially, apparently, it's two of their characters that they've done before, but now as Ducky and Teddy.
Okay.
Those are the names of their characters. The synopsis underneath it says that Woody and gang are kind of going on this trip, and part of it involves a carnival. And those two are carnival toys that are hoping to be one, and they almost are, and then Woody and his friends screw it up. So Ducky and Teddy are doing their whole thing. But I thought that was really cute, And apparently the director said he let them just improv and do their own thing.
We'll animate it later.
Yeah. So a lot of their stuff in the movie is improv'd and just
good.
He let them flow because he's like, they're really good at this improv that's also attached to the story and
Yeah, like, this is the loose pieces that you need to hit, go.
Yeah, and they can do it. So he's like, go and do your own thing. And it's like, oh, good. Because, that trailer I thought was exponentially better than them spinning in a circle.
I thought,
to infinity and your mom. And I'm like...
Kids won't get
your mom joke in a Toy Story trailer.
Kids will get that joke, but it's okay because we know it's a joke.
Yeah.
So that trailer popped. Which one came first? This one or the other one?
Toy Story 4 and Pokemon dropped on the same day, and Pokemon blew Toy Story's first one out of the water.
Totally did. So
again, with
Detective Pikachu movie, we knew this movie was coming. First and foremost,
yep.
We knew this was coming with Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, but I think most people forgot because when I showed people that trailer, they're like, "Why is Deadpool Pikachu?"
And that was the biggest complaint a lot of people had was all I hear is Deadpool.
Now,
and it's like
I get it.
I'm cool with it.
I'm super cool with it.
Especially because it's the one guy who can hear him, and everybody else just hears the like
the classic Pikachu noise. Yes.
I'm
super ready for this movie. Like, okay, so for the first time I watched it,
yes,
I was like, no, that's not real. That's freaking fake.
Like you thought it was a fan trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, that can't be real. So I played it again. I'm like, this is happening.
So the other complaint online...
The more I watch, I'm like, the more I'm into this. Like the weird hair on the Pokemon.
See, I don't find it weird.
No, it's not.
In my mind, if you're creating hyper-realistic Pokemon...
They're going to have fur. They're not going to be smooth as baby.
Like someone complained about Jigglypuff having like the cotton candy, like
the little twirly hair.
Yeah, and I'm like, but she does.
If you ever watch the show, anytime they interact with Pokemon, it looks like they have hair on the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, that's...
And it's not like Jigglypuff was like a giant puffball.
No.
Legitimately, it's like a little bit of hair.
Yeah.
Like a short-haired cat or something like that. And
same thing with Pikachu.
And Pikachu's he's a mouse.
Yes. He's a...
Toy.
Yes, electric mouse.
The Charizard, the little bit we see, it scales like
the Greninja was a little bit
slimy
or like a frog.
Yeah, crazy how that works.
Psyduck's probably the weirder one because I was expecting more of a smooth skin.
I think it's little feathers though, isn't it?
Maybe. I think you know what? That trailer was kind of quick.
If we go frame by frame and
it's harder to see.
It also shows how terrifying Pokemon would be if they were legitimately alive.
Yes, it's the funniest comments are like, remember all those fan-made like hyper-realistic Pokemon fan art? They made that into a movie.
Yeah, this is what happens when Americans get their hands on like a Pokemon film.
But I'm still super okay with it.
It looks amazing.
I'm so ready for this movie. It looks funny.
We don't really know what's going. It's going to be a very, I think, bland movie story-wise.
My understanding is that it's based off of the 3DS game.
Yeah.
That's because it's the 3DS Detective Pikachu game, stars Tim.
He's in the police force of some kind.
He's not in the police force. He's literally looking for the killer of his dad. And he comes across this Pikachu, which he can talk to. And I think the big shtick with that is maybe in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong. That Detective Pikachu, like all the other Pokemon, can't understand him either. So that's where that line from the trailer comes from, where he's talking about being so alone.
Yeah.
It's because no one else can understand him. Literally no one else can understand him.
That one will be interesting. But he does talk to Mr. Mime.
No, he doesn't.
Well, yeah, it kind of does. It's like, tell us what we need to know, and Mr. Mime tells him to,
shove it.
Yeah, just go shove it.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
I'm intrigued by this entire film.
I like that the movie poster that the guys put out, the Lionsgate.
Yep.
You can actually go onto the website and kind of investigate the poster yourself and find all the Easter eggs, which is a lot.
Yep.
That poster was amazing. If it wasn't for like if it was just that poster, I would have been still okay, because it's all the weird fake Pokemon stuff that I've come to learn and love.
Yep.
But in real life.
Oh yeah.
So you have McChamp's Fighting Gym. You've got Jigglypuff Records. You've got the Pokemart like in the. It's weird to think that we're gonna see a Pokemart at some point in time in this film.
You'd like to buy some Pokeballs? Yes, I need 8,000.
Here's some Premier Balls too.
Yeah. Here's some bonus balls. And the other people, I laughed because they're like, "Did you catch this one Easter egg in the trailer?" And it's Jigglypuff holding the marker, and I'm like, "Duh!" Like that was what the first thing I saw in Jigglypuff's hand.
You see them, and he's mad. You can clearly see someone's asleep.
Yeah,
and it's like, yes, that clear. If you've never watched the show, then yes. But if you like, that's the Jigglypuff thing.
Yeah,
to
like
do.
I think it was IGN pointing out that, like, you know, or Kotaku or something, like it's got the marker in its hand, and I'm like,
the microphone marker.
The microphone marker, and I'm like. Duh. That was the first thing I saw. That's his thing.
That's if he doesn't draw on someone's face, I'll be
People
disappointed.
are complaining about the cotton candy hair, and I'm like, yeah, marker. Like, you know,
I'm okay with the hair.
Me too.
I'm super okay with it.
They've not shown a Pokemon in any of those trailers where I've gone, not what I imagined them looking like.
I'd like to see those Emolga a little bit closer.
Yep.
I really appreciate the fact that, like, as soon as the trailer opens, people were obviously frame picking stuff. It's like, this is from Generation 1, but that Pokemon's from Generation 7. And it's like, everything is together.
Yeah.
It's not just Kanto. It's not just Unova. It's not just Sinnoh. It's everything.
People have traveled, and Pokemon have traveled. And...
So, there could be a possibility that we see that new Melmetal, Meltan, in this movie.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that might happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be
That's the post-credit scene.
My thoughts for
Meltan is the bad guy.
My plot, my tinfoil hat theory is that the post-credit scene will be someone's walking through the train station and you see on his passport it just says Ash.
That'd be cute.
That would be my and that's a post-credit scene that goes nowhere.
Yeah. It
would just be that oh, Ash is in this world.
Yeah.
That would be cool. He happens to have a red jacket. That would be cool. And then even further, someone's like, they should make a Pokemon cinematic universe. We could see tons of other stuff happen in this world.
It's the easiest universe to actually create.
You think about how basic a Pokemon game is, but then the world building that they go through each game, it's like, yes,
Pokemon slaves
Unova is very based on France, so you can make a French style movie. Unova was based off of New York, so you can have like a Western style New York City. Obviously, Kanto and Sinnoh or Japan, so you could do something in there. Like, there's so much to do in these in the Pokemon universe that yes, they specifically picked out the one movie that the Pikachu actually talks back to, or the game that the Pikachu talks back to, the main protagonist, and that's great.
Yeah.
But if this does well, I could totally see them doing like tons of other stuff, like more Mewtwo stuff. I'd love to see a Mewtwo.
Well, we have Pokemon movies. Again, you have a good reference point to jump off of on
Pokemon
films.
movies, TV shows, even the games.
The games.
Like, everything is fair game.
Yep.
When it comes to Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
And
easy world building on that one.
Like, everything's basically done.
Because you can essentially ditch this character that you have in Detective Pikachu and go to a new guy and just be like, he's going on his own Pokemon adventure that involves this. And you're like, yeah, he is.
Or it's like, I'm searching for, like, the strongest Pokemon or something like that.
You could legitimately do, like, they've done the Surfer Dude movies where, you know, like, Matthew McConaughey's a surfer trying to get into the World Championships. You can do that kind of movie with Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's got a Plip-Plop, and it's going to help him, like, you know, they've got to win the World Championship of Surfing, man, and, like, make it a chick flick, and everybody's like, yeah, Pokemon
Make a horror Pokemon movie in Lavender Town. Ghastlies everywhere.
But that's my thing, like, it's... everybody's complaints, I'm like, no, thank you.
I'm super ready for this movie.
It's Pikachu sitting there like, put the stapler down or I will electrocute you. And it's just like,
that's cute.
Ryan Reynolds.
And it's Ryan Reynolds. I don't know how he got that role.
I don't know.
Like,
I think they called him just because he does have a distinctive voice, and I think that's what people are like, why didn't he change his voice up? And it's like, well, because...
I think people are more disappointed that they're not getting Danny DeVito, and I'm like... Come on, guys.
But it's not the same...
No, you need to have that lighthearted humor.
Well, And the detective they showed in the 3DS game was a bigger Pikachu with the hat and the coat, and he looked like he had.
I don't think he had a coat.
He had the cape thing that Sherlock Holmes has. If you look at like all of the.
I think the key art has it, but in the game he doesn't.
But still, like he had that, and he had the kind of the gruff face on. And it was like, I'm gonna solve crimes, and everybody's like, yeah, see, like that's a Danny DeVito-esque type.
If
like,
they
he
didn't
looked like him.
I'm surprised they didn't get Danny DeVito for the game.
But this Pikachu in the movie is legitimately, it looks like Pikachu.
Yes.
Like a Pikachu that you would normally see. He's not bigger, he's not rounder, he's in no way, shape, or form different. So
he just looks like a regular Pikachu.
Yeah. Pika Pika! Especially when he does that part and you're like, ha.
I think they got the real voice actor for that.
They
from the
did.
original. That's got to be the original Pikachu voice
That was
actor.
straight out of the cartoons.
Yes. Someone was saying, like, they could just record, like, grab the audio from those other games.
Biggest missed opportunity, though, was there was that poster for a Squirtle and he didn't have glasses on.
We'll see. This movie is going to be crammed
full
of Easter eggs and things just for Pokemon fans. That it's going to be whoa. There's a movie in here. I don't remember.
I was just looking at all the Pokemon must-see movie again.
Yeah.
Take all my money, please.
Yes. I want the plushie.
Oh, yeah.
I want that plushie.
Well, and that's the other piece, too. The plushies coming out of this.
The marketing is going to be huge.
Are going to be also insane because you're not just getting... You know, the Pikachu plushie that we've had for 800 years. You're now going to get the...
It's going to have a little fuzziness to it. It's going to have the hat. It might even have a Ryan Reynolds voice box if they really wanted to.
Yeah. I feel so alone. I feel so alone.
I will electrocute you.
But that's what I mean. Like, the marketing we get after this is going to be huge. It's so hopefully they don't screw up like Disney did. But it's like Disney with the Christopher Robin, Winnie the Pooh characters. Mm-hmm. Like, those are drastically different characters, and they didn't market them properly enough because they made 5 plushies for the entirety of North America.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you mean people wanted to buy these? Like, hopefully the Pokemon Company and people are going like, oh, people are going to want to buy this Pikachu.
Usually they're pretty good. With
they're good.
Like, if you ever go to the World events or go to the Pokemon Center, they make a ton of plushies. Yeah. So usually they're not too bad. And plushies don't move as fast as people think they do.
No. But,
I mean, they move, but they're not, like, flying off shelves like Disney's stuff usually is.
No, but this Pikachu is very different, too. Like, we've had the same Pikachu coming out for
since
how
1996.
Many years? Right. Like, people are done with buying that Pikachu, but if they can get one that looks like
a fuzzy
little one that you can, like, put on a counter and people will be like, did you get a cat? Like, you know.
No, I got an electric mouse.
Yeah, I got an electric mouse. Jeez. Or even a talking one that, like, moves and dances. Like, there's so many options now for this kind of stuff.
But yeah, I'm very excited for this film.
Yeah, we're not just stuck with the anime characters anymore, which I think
yes. And then it's very just to be very clear about this, they're not ditching the anime stuff.
No.
So that stuff is way too popular for Japan.
And I would never expect them to. This is just another branch of Pokemon, which is awesome.
I would love to see a Pokemon cinematic universe.
Yes.
in this style.
If this movie does well and the people have understood the process well enough, then yes. If the best parts of the movie are in that trailer, then we're done. But
yeah, that's a sad. That would be sad.
That'd be sad. But if
it's not going to.
I don't think so.
Like the way that they've marketed it's like Detective Pikachu. He's gonna be with Tim most of this movie. I'm gonna say like a good 80% of this movie.
Yeah, we're gonna get Tim at the beginning, who's all like, I have to find my dad's. Like,
it's like I'm useless. I'm such a bad detective, but I can't find.
I'm so bad at my job.
I wish I had a partner Pokemon. Nope.
Well, and then they'll be like, weren't you going to be a Pokemon trainer? Maybe you should go back and do that. And then he goes home and is all like, oh, sulky, and that's where the staple, scene comes in. Like, that'll be 15 minutes into the film.
20 minutes, I can see that.
We'll set up Tim as a character, and then Pikachu.
Someone found the person in the restaurant. They were using a Charmander's tail to light the fire. I'm like, oh my god, if it adds things like that to this world that happen on a daily basis in the show...
But think about that. If we had Pokemon, we wouldn't do things the same way.
Exactly. Like you would think about lighting stoves differently.
Everything would be different.
You get your Pokemon to power your electricity.
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Whatever people want to do.
But that's what I mean. It's like your life would be different with the Squirtle involved. Like,
even if I had an Eevee, it'd be way different.
Shoveling snow would be so much easier with a Charmander.
Yes. Watering the lawn would be easier with a Squirtle.
I'd make him do it that way. Can you water the lawn? No.
Squirtle's like, what the fuck?
Exactly. He's like,
you want me to wear what glasses?
Put these on. No.
Squirtle.
I feel like that's how my Eevee feels in my game. Put the hat on.
Be cute.
Be cuter. But yeah, Pokemon trailer kicked the Toy Story trailers butt.
Very much so. Even after they released the second trailer, people were still talking about Pokemon.
Well, that's good. And again, we've seen Toy Story how many times?
We know what it looks like. We knew it was coming. It's going to be a known quantity. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
That's not in debate.
I'm going to cry. It's going to be good. Like,
apparently Tom Hanks was like, seriously, he was like, after he recorded his stuff, he's like, I don't.
Yeah,
people are not going to be
like, what?
People are not going to be dry-eyed in this movie.
It's a Pixar movie. I don't intend to be, unless you're the good dinosaur, because that made movie.
I cried for
nothing but anger.
I cried for a different reason.
Yeah.
They could have been better.
It could have been such a good movie. Why?
They just did Lion King.
They're already remaking the Lion King. Why do it a third time? And then the weirdest news, I think, to come out of this week.
Yeah. Okay. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was I enjoyed the series. I've watched all of them since forever.
I stopped after season 2.
Well,
not that I meant to stop. Not that I was like bad show. I was just like,
it's just been one of those Marvel things that's been
fell off my radar.
It's one of those things where they kind of have to bounce between the show and the movie, and then like which side of the fan audience you want to appease, and it's like none apparently. And so they tried very, very hard to get a season 6. They got a season 6. It's coming in like January.
And it's a half season.
It's a half season, but it's coming after Avengers 4.
Yep. Which again, we've talked about, smart move, because you don't have to deal with snapping in this.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with half the people gone.
Yeah.
But apparently out of the blue, season 7 has been greenlit.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
So that tells me either what they saw from season 6 they were very impressed with, or the showrunners went to the higher ups and said, this is what we have for season 7.
Yeah.
Like that must have been great, or more of a tinfoil hat theory is that they're finally starting to integrate themselves back into the movies.
Yeah.
Which would be huge.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, my thought process is, I know the streaming service, Kevin Feige's involved with, like, the Loki show and that kind of stuff. If he's starting to get his fingers more on, like the TV side of stuff, and he's like...
What you're saying is we could see Inhumans again?
Done well. But that's my thing, is, like, Kevin Feige's like, if I've got my fingers on Loki, which is on the TV service, like our streaming service, but still TV, technically.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will never leave ABC, but
no, but it's like
more like
he's like, maybe if I can just hold on, let me just take this one, and I'll take this one, and we'll put them in a movie, and we'll just
I don't know how they're gonna still deal with Clark Gregg, because I was under the impression season 6 was gonna be sort of that, like his
swan song, sort of, yeah.
But if season 7's coming, what does that take?
Him back before.
What I know, but season 5 ended so well for him. And season 6 would have been his sort of like his final lap of like, this is it for Agent
Or with
Coulson.
well, see, and it's tough to say, because like Captain Marvel coming out gives you the option of like, we can go back in time and show you like Clark Gregg as he like becomes an agent, but you can't de-age him for the show. That would cost way too much money.
So people are thinking, I'm thinking maybe time travel actually might be more of a factor for Avengers 4 than people realize.
Well, and we'll see what happens with Avengers 4.
Like
that could change everything.
They may save Coulson.
Yeah, they could.
They may save Coulson, which would be a weird...
Coulson is the one that saves everybody from Thanos.
Yes. Comes out of nowhere.
And
a strange thing happens.
Season 1 through 6 or season 1 through 5 is just an alternate reality that happened at some point.
Which I think, if the writing is stellar enough, and I will say the writing has been pretty good for the last season, they could probably pull something like that.
Season 6 opens, it's a completely different show.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited that this is coming
out of nowhere.
Like a season 7 after they struggled so hard.
Yeah,
to get a season 6.
Do we get a season 6? Do we get a season 6? Do we get a season 6?
Maybe.
Do we get a season 6? Maybe. Can we have a season 6?
Maybe.
Tony, can we have a season 6?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I guess.
And they're like, we'll give you half.
I guess
season.
so.
I guess.
And everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Get back to work, guys. And then I think They finished filming. I feel like they finished filming or got close to finish filming season 6.
I don't know.
Because they were filming a couple months back for the pilot, not pilot, the season or episode 1.
But yeah, we get season
7 out of nowhere.
And it's one of those I don't know what to expect out of season 7.
And it could be a soft reboot, for all we know.
And it could be.
It could be a soft...
And again, depending on what happens in season 6, depending on what happens in Avengers 4, you know,
that could be huge. Yeah. I will say, things that happen after Avengers 4 will directly have to affect season 7.
Well, and with all the things that keep happening, like, you know, we're saying that there's the rumors that Ultron comes back for, you know, Avengers 4. There's rumors like, and it's like Quicksilver comes back.
And they're still talking about the Eternals movie. That could be a huge thing. They've gone to space for about half a season, so that's not.
But that's my thing. It's like there's Avengers 4 plays such a key role in the timey-wimey kind of stuff.
Everything's possible when the time stone is in play.
Correct. So yeah, or the time portals in the quantum realm.
Time warps? I don't know.
Whatever they are, yeah. That Ant-Man clearly goes.
The one-liner, the one throwaway line that everyone thought was a throwaway line, but it's probably not.
No, it either is a throwaway line to throw the rest of us off who are like, time travel, because we've seen them in like, old school costumes and stuff. So here's where the time travel comes in, is through the quantum realm. Or it's legitimately like, so it's a throwaway line to throw us off.
Yes.
Or it's legitimately the line where people who have no idea about like time travel and that kind of stuff.
Yes, because people have.
They're like, what kind of line is that? That's just stupid.
And then 5 seconds later, where did all the people go?
Yeah.
Where did they go? That 1% of audiences is like, what?
I'm confused now. We have to watch this movie and then this movie.
Yes, in this order. But you have to remember that this movie takes place before this movie, but this movie is taking place at the same time as this other movie.
Hold on, we're going to watch this in chronological order and throw the TV shows in at the same time just to make sure.
Because Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp happen at the same time. I'm going to watch them at the same time.
2 TVs.
At the same time so that you can watch. I'm sure someone's already done that. Someone's with like 2 monitors has like put those 2 movies back to back.
Where's Ant-Man? On house arrest and play.
Oh, this is when Thanos snaps, so that means this point has to be when those guys go, and it's like no, just let it just go. It's a movie.
Yeah, I've got it down to the exact time.
Okay, YouTube. Okay, YouTube people.
We're YouTube people.
Debatable.
Either way, that's it for the news this week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
For us. If you liked what you saw, stay tuned. We'll be resetting the buttons and all the other gears and knobs. We talk about the post-credit show.
We talk about games we've played, movies we've watched, and other assorted nerd junk we have
nerdy things.
done. If I press this button, does it? Yeah, see, it works. If you like what you saw,
hit the button. Smash that like button.
Yeah,
hold on, it's over here. Yeah, it's over here. Smash that like button. Oh, is it over there?
I don't know where it is anymore.
Remember when like YouTubers had to like be like, is it over here? Is the button over here? Is it over there? Wherever? Like, I remember when that was an issue.
Press the
now button. It's universally just.
Press the button. Yeah, it's down there somewhere. Press it, like us, love us.
Subscribe.
If you're on Twitch, do the same thing.
Hit that little bell icon, when we go live.
Yeah. Press all the buttons.
Press them.
Cool. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you in like 5 minutes. Bye.